Dennise, one of the things that I always talk about when I teach instructional design is the importance of the design process, the training process, and everything that's related to it. And I always look at examples of where accidents happen, and the first thing that happens in an investigation is they look at the training records. How were these people trained? How long ago was it? How rigorous was the training? And Dennise, this Air India tragedy just brings this back up again.
It sure does. It was a very tragic, obviously tragic accident. And I know you had posted something on LinkedIn shortly after that about training. And can you go a little bit into that, some of the things that you uncovered?
Yeah, some of the things that I've found in the work that I've done in this regard is that when investigators look at training, they really want to know, is this something we can eliminate? Is this something that wasn't done correctly? Was it done too long ago? All the things that relate to certifications and the rest of it. So when you look at the airline industry, you've got the A&P, aircraft and power plant techs who do all the maintenance. You've obviously got all the work that the pilots do in simulators and being certified within each of the airframes. There's all this stuff, and I can guarantee you that that's the first thing they look at. And the other thing that I found interesting when I started to really get into this and be involved in it in different ways was the Bar Association says that if you're going to sue somebody for an accident, the first thing you ask for is the training records. And we talk about this a lot. We haven't talked a lot about it on this channel, but I think it's time maybe we did. That there's an incredible responsibility within the training and learning development field that these are things that are on our shoulders. These are things we need to think about in certain areas. And it doesn't really matter what the content of the course is, but if there's a certification associated with it, or if it's in some way related to something that could injure or worse someone else, then we've got this that we have to be okay with. We have to say, okay, we're going to do the best we can here. We're going to make sure that everyone is trained and evaluated. And here's the other thing, you have to evaluate, because they're going to look at that, say, how did you know that they were trained? How can you validate the fact that they could do this at the level that you said they could do this at? So when we talk about objectives, we talk about performance agreement, we talk about all these things. This is not just mythical go to the mountain kind of conversations. These are actual everyday things that I have run into. And most instructional designers have been doing this for a while. And depending on which field they're in and the content and populations, they may deal with this every day, Dennise.
Yeah. And, it goes to show you the critical importance of the work that we do as instructional designers, as learning experience designers, making sure that we are up on our knowledge about how first adults learn, how learning objectives are written, how they are evaluated. Is there a performance agreement? Are we evaluating them based on the learning objectives set out in the right domains? Those things are so critical. Now, Chuck, let me ask you, because you've been in these different types of industries where, like the labor union and things of that sort, how do they determine the standards? Do they they match up subject matter experts with instructional design experts to come up with these standards? And are these standards being met? Like, how is that evaluated even?
That's a great question, Dennise, is how do you actually put together this training and validate the fact that it represents what you think it represents? So I'm not a subject matter expert in A&P mechanics or in what happens on the flight deck of a 787. It's just not within my realm of knowledge or anything else. And this is why we talk so much about subject matter experts and validating the information that you get, making sure that it is current. So when we talk about going back as part of our process of designing courses and learning, that we set up a timetable when we go back and review these things. And this is how you can say with all legitimacy that you have a product that meets all the specifications that you were talking about. It's state of the art, it's current, it's been verified by subject matter experts, and to the best of our knowledge, this is the product that best addresses population and content area.
It shows the importance of a professionalized ISD system when it comes to the lives of people. And airlines, certainly, as we know, have a lot of lives at stake. So my biggest question then really is, how can we make sure that we are evaluating not just the learning environment, but the systems in place to make sure that the actual development, design, delivery are evaluated on a consistent basis so that we are up to standards as the airlines grow, as any kind of an industry grows and changes, especially the technological changes that we are expecting or experiencing, I should say, as mankind.
Yeah, so I think the big thing that you have to think about from the instructional design perspective is when you evaluate, are you evaluating as close to the situation that these folks will face in reality when they get back to the job in the real world as you possibly can? So that's why you have simulators for pilots. They can go through and they can program it with any flight that's taken place anywhere. Every accident, they will go through those. What would you do in this situation? The same for ship captains and many other trades is you go through the simulators because that best represents real life. And you can also have observations when people get back to work and say, okay, are they really doing this? So validity is a big deal, but it goes back to the founding principles of instructional design. So go back to Gagne and Dr. Cook and everyone else, is you have to evaluate in the same environment as people will be using these skills. And this is where you look at objective domains and all the higher order stuff that we talk about. And there's a reason for this. It's not just Chuck and Dennise on here on YouTube talking about this stuff to get views. It's really about the real world out there. And this is what's going on in the real world. So if you're new to instructional design or you haven't been involved in these things before, I can assure you that the complexity and the responsibility of some of the things we do is just off the charts.
Thanks, Chuck, for sharing your insights. And thank you, everyone, for tuning in to this video. Please comment below and share your ideas with us as well. Thanks so much.